Everyone knows Harun Al-Rashid, Muslim or non-Muslim alike. Orientalists have been telling the tale of 1001 Nights in novels, TV shows, or comic books for as long as I can remember. These depictions, which for one are exaggerated to fit the Western Orientalist fantasy, mostly focus on the Caliph's grand life in his palaces in Baghdad, surrounded by his wives, concubines, musicians, and learned men. What they don't tell you, however, for reasons that we can't really get into here, is that Harun al-Rashid was also a warrior, fiercely committed to the tenets of his faith, among which are waging war on the disbelievers and the pilgrimage to Mecca. The year is 792, and Prince Harun al-Rashid was given the responsibility of the summer raids in the Byzantine lands. He prepared his armies and went on. They entered deep into Byzantine territory and captured many cities until they reached the Sea of Marmara. The plunder was immense. They managed to gather a lavish sum of 194,000 dinars of gold along with 21 million dirhams of silver. As a result, Empress Irene, the leader of the Byzantine at the time, is forced to sign a treaty, in which she agrees to an annual tribute of an estimated 90,000 dinars to the Abbasids. Understandably, the situation was not tenable for the Byzantine, and a decade later, in 803, Irene is deposed and Nicephorus rises to power. Once he secures his people's allegiance, he writes to Harun al-Rashid, and the letter reads as follows. From Nicephorus, ruler of the Byzantine, to Harun al-Rashid, ruler of the Arabs. The queen, who was my predecessor, set you up in the position of a rook, but herself was merely a pawn, and she paid over to you from her treasuries the amount whose equivalent you should by right have handed over to her. But that arose from the weakness and deficient sense of women. Now, when you have perused my letter, send back what you received of the money she sent. If not, then the sword will inevitably be set between us. When Harun al-Rashid reads the letter, his face becomes red with anger. No one in the room even dares to look at him, much less speak to him. His companions dispersed, fearful of being on the receiving end of Harun's wrath. The vizier himself was too paralyzed to offer the Caliph any help, and Harun orders to be given an inkstand and writes on the back of the letter, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate, from Harun, the Commander of the Faithful, to Nicephorus, the dog of the Byzantines. O son of an infidel woman, I have read your letter, and the reply is what you will see without you having to hear it. Farewell. He then sets off immediately and travels on until he halts before the gates of Heraclea. He captures it, takes plunder, selects the best items for himself, destroys and burns all, and leaves nothing. Nicephorus, seeing the devastation, rushed for another agreement on the basis of an annual tribute towards the Abbasids. See you next time.